come to the part now where open for questions or anything that anybody wants to bring up. But first of all, instead of it being the way around of you asking me questions, I want to ask all you a question. And you might have an answer, you might have an idea, I don't know. I'm just putting it out. So the new website, the updated website, it's always been the intention for it to have a members portal, which would have access to all kind of support information and videos and the ability for practitioners, well, eventually practitioners, but initially teachers, to put out their own personal information, their bio, their contact details, so the public can find you through the website. And this would be divided up into countries, so when, you know, anybody, if they wanted, just type in, the public would type in search for the country, district, town, whatever, and find an angelic Reiki teacher and, I say, eventually practitioner in that area. Now, as it is now, all that is up there is a register, is a name, so that anyone who is looking for an angelic Reiki teacher can check that somebody they find is actually listed with me, with Angelic Reiki International, and anyone that's registered on the website, that is listed on the website, is someone who has signed the charter and agreed to keep up the standards and the practice and follow the ethics and spirit of Angelic Reiki. So that is a listing of properly registered teachers. So it's going to be anyone, so everyone is going to be able to do their own listing. And there's going to be a number of possibilities, because different countries, and this is why I want to open this, and I just want anybody's feedback. Different countries all around the world have different levels of economy, different needs, and all the rest of it. Now, the listing of teachers on the website has been totally free up until now. So I just want anybody, if anyone's got any ideas as to, if you had to decide just to put your name, the initial listing that has always been totally free, if there was a small nominal fee for that, because obviously the website has to be paid for, etc. What do you think would be a good fee? Also, if somebody was to do a full bio of, a photograph of themselves, all the information of, have they done Merkaba, have they done updates, all contact details, a full bio, for a year's subscription, what would you feel would be an appropriate fee for that? And it may be that some of you have got experience with other modalities and can draw on that experience. And if you feel that you want time to think about it, or you don't want to kind of say now, you can send me an email with suggestions. But has anyone got any comments from what I've said?
What I would say is, I think it's reasonable, absolutely, to ask that. And I love that there's an opportunity to be able to market ourselves based on region. And so I think that's great. There's a couple of sites that I follow that I do a monthly subscription supporter kind of scenario. And I pay anywhere from 7 to 10 Canadian dollars per month to do that. And it seems very reasonable to me based on what I receive back. I don't have an issue. And then from a business perspective, there's, to your point, there's a cost, and I leverage it, so I expect to pay into that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Okay, so send me a little email or something, because I would like to know, because it is really challenging. Because especially for just the what's been free so far, just to actually put one's name on the listings, just to assert to the public that you actually registered, which is something want everybody to be able to do. And there is, such different economies around the world that so from your country, from your economy, I'd really like to get a point of view. For example, compare Colombia to Hong Kong. It's very different. Okay, so that yeah, please send me any opinions, any suggestions, any information that you can. Be really welcome. So thank you. So anybody, I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right, Dominiano has a question, I know, but just to first of all ask if anyone else has a question that they brought this evening that they would like to ask. Okay, or any feedback about the meditation that you just experienced? Anyone got anything they'd like to share? Okay, quiet this evening. How do you say your name? Damiano.
Damiano. It's Damien with an O. Damiano.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So my question was, a few weeks ago, there was a question from a lady in Greece that asked about whether you want healing to go through the archangels, and I understood that you said that you can do it through your higher self. I'm a bit confused on that.
So am I, because I'm not quite sure. So is this doing a healing for someone else or doing it for yourself?
No, if you want to do it for yourself, yeah.
Right. Okay.
So if you're looking for something and you want some help, or you want to do something, or maybe to heal somebody, you can do it through your higher self. That was what was transpired, or what I understood.
Yeah.
I was led to believe that you go through the angelic realm as such.
Yeah. So I hope this is answering your question.
Me too.
Healing is all about a connection to the angelic kingdom, and it's the angelic kingdom that facilitates that is the energy we sit in. That is the energy, and that is the affirmation is thy will, not my will, so that the divine through the angelic kingdom can bring the most perfect designer energy for any individual.
Yeah.
The function of that, the process, what that causes is a connection to the higher self. So that's the result. That is the purpose. What's part of the purpose of the healing. The actual process is that it's the divine that it's divine through the angelic kingdom that brings the energy, that does the healing, etc.
Yes, that's what I was.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yes. And what I think is what I was saying before, what you heard was that process, the actual, it's like the question, what is a healing? And it's for angelic Reiki, it's not that I have something special. I can put my hands on someone else, ask the angels, and that person is going to, their problem is going to be solved. A healing is that connection to the angelic kingdom facilitates that person being connected to their higher self.
Okay.
And it is that connection to our own higher self that is our ongoing is the awakening of our ongoing connection to the divine. And it is that, so it is so we live from our own divinity, and we're connected to our own divinity through the awakening of that connection to the higher self.
That's my understanding. That's good. Okay.
Good.
Fine.
Good. Yes.
Fine. Great.
Good.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you for your question. It's always good to talk these things through and clarify them. And that's, for me, is just, and I've said this, when I've done other talks, that to me is what this, what is so important now. And that is, for me, that is our truth. Our whole life is about allowing a living of the divine that we are here on earth. And that is what I heard in most of the feedbacks from the group. It's about living from that place, and that is our birthright. It is it is what we're meant to do. And when we make decisions and affirm that is the autonomy that we're going to live from, that is that first affirmation of that claiming of that autonomy and that divine right. Because other things on this earth have claimed power over. That is part of the awakening. That is what we're claiming back. Okay. So there's anyone else? There's I know half the people that we can see. There's always quite a lot of people that turn the video off. So I know I'm talking to people I can't see, which is always a really funny feeling. So anyone else got anything else to share or ask?
Christine, about your previous question about the website. For example, I wanted to have my name in the listing in your website, because here in Greece people don't trust. There are many people that claim to be something that they are not. So by having my name in your listing without not marketing myself, I mean, no web pages, no info, no nothing, just having my name in that list, that somebody here that is that wants to have a healing can go in your website and double check that I am what I'm claiming to be. This was the reason, for example, that I wanted to have my name in the site. So with this, by this way, you kind of verify that, yes, these are people that came from my teaching, because as we know, there are many altered angelic Reiki teachers. So I don't think it would be convenient for us, for example, only for that reason to pay a fee every month for that, because I don't use it for advertising. But the other idea, I mean, if it's separate, or if somebody, for example, can click on the name and open their card, if we had the chance to do that, that would be amazing. And that, for me, should be charged. But not the verification that, yeah, they are my students, they are going in the correct angelic Reiki. Yeah, that I don't feel, yeah, that's my feeling. I don't think that should be charged, because you're only in that way guaranteeing that, yes, I taught these people, they are my students. Yeah, just my...
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Anita.
Just listening to that, and instead of maybe having a monthly fee, why don't you just do like a yearly fee, whatever that might be, and then pay for the year, so we're not faffing around every month making a payment, because it's unlikely someone's just going to sign up for a month or 2 months. So maybe a yearly subscription, whatever that might be, and then that'll cover a blanket of things. And maybe there's 2 categories, maybe there's a minimum category, maybe there's a higher category that you can describe, possibly, if that makes sense.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. Yeah, a deluxe version.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to flag up that part of the membership would be the resources that are there as well as the declaration of being listed, therefore registered, therefore valid. Yeah. Oh yes, Sarah.
Well, I was going to talk about it after what Nikki said. It's not just about having there the name, it's the resources that you get with your name there, right? That's what you were saying. It's not just being listed with the name. People will have that, will have resources, or probably have resources that are not available for everyone in the Angelic Reiki community. Is that right?
There will be, there'll be anything that's useful. We're starting with a lot of PDF files that can be downloaded, so that everybody has the official case study form and things like that. There'll be information documents, and it'll be a growing thing. But at the moment, there's a dashboard with about 4 categories and lists of. There'll be a printed. Not in every language, but for example, there might be actual. The wording so you've got when somebody applies to come to a workshop and you want to know if they're on any medication and there's anything that you need to discuss, there'll be that as a download to to send out and things like that.
Okay, so it's not just the name, Nikki. It's
no,
just what we have now. Okay. That was what I thought it was. So I wanted to help Nikki to clarify that. Yeah. Only the name is one thing, and this is a little bit higher. It's kind of having a basic, and then having a deluxe package with the name, the address, where you're from, and doing all of the stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. There might even be 3 levels. One that's your name, so you know that anyone can check that you are valid. One with just contact details, and then one with a big picture, and I don't know. It's all to be looked at, but it's just really nice to take this opportunity to actually get some feedback. Dawn.
Christine, I'm happy to email you privately, but I do know that I'm not listed, and I don't know if there's any documentation that perhaps I have not sent through to you, but I'm happy to email you and do this offline because it might not be pertinent for anybody else on this group.
Perfect. Yes, please do. Yes, just send me an email. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Nikki.
Also, another question I've been thinking of asking you, Angelic Reiki in the last 7 years, you get, in every Angelic Reiki group you have, it's updated, things come in. Are the manuals updated? Do you update the manuals?
The answer is yes and no. There absolutely is no new information. So on one level, no, the manuals aren't updated. What has happened is that Angela and I have been working to well, we've done it for the 1 and 2 manual in English. We've gone through it and we've looked at places where we feel that there needed to be clearer, just said better or clearer information. And also Angela's very good at formatting. So the new English 1 and 2 is prettier.
Okay. I want the new one. Because we don't have, for example, in the opening of the space, in our manuals, we don't have the 4 directions, for example.
Nobody does.
Okay.
So in opening up the space, there's a section that says call in masters, and then and there's a little note that says, and the teacher can call in anyone that they think is appropriate and do their stuff. And that one of the reasons that's there, and one of the things I do encourage is, for example, if I'm teaching in Taiwan, to say, instead of calling, Saint Germain, he's European, and Dwal Kul and El Morey, they're Tibetan, Indian, I say, well, why not call in Confucius and call in, the great teachers of China and the East, instead of calling in, our traditional ascended masters. Or if someone is Muslim, then an ascended master, female master, that would be Fatima, or perhaps even Muhammad. That it isn't. So that I think it's important for people to honor their own cultures and their own roots, and it would be interesting to somebody who's teaching in Norway, Sweden, to actually look at the archetypes of their tradition. So that's what that space is for. What the individual teacher resonates with them, and I like to, So the archangel names and all of that is just what I like to do. But I think the cardinal directions is, I don't, and every time there's something will come up and I think, oh yes, that'd be really nice to have in the manual, or who should. And there's been lots of opportunities where I've really felt to change it, but every time I've stepped back from it, you know, because once you start changing something, you know, you change this and you add this and you change the other. It is as it is. That's how it was given, and yeah. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for the question. And it's along, you know, with this new, apparently, with the NESARA GESARA financial thing, they do keep saying that people that are, that, you know, organizations and people that that are trying to, you know, support humanity generally, there will be resources, there will be money for them, and there will be resources. And there's always been a sense, and Kevin very, very strongly had a sense that, you know, substantial amounts of money would be at some time available to us. And I have kind of seen this vision, and I would love to have, I don't know, it would probably take about £50,000 to employ a professional translator in every language. I mean, Angelic Reiki's in, it's something like 27 countries, and to have all the manuals of Angelic Reiki, Merkaba, Shambhala in all the languages, professionally translated and professionally edited, and the manuals all done. And yeah, it's going to cost more than 50,000, I think. But that's one of the prayers that I put out, that yeah, at some point we will have this kind of money, or even built centres, you know. It's part of visions, and for it, and to be and to have other modalities there, and for it to, you know, be, because the reason that the collective of Shambhala, Merkaba, and Angelic Reiki, and of course Wisdom of Metatron now as well, the umbrella organization, which is the name we came up with right at the very beginning, the Foundation of Cosmic Fire, one of absolutely our vision was for it to be totally broad-based, and that we would have a school, and part of that would be nutrition, and when about 2005, 2006, we were teaching in Sedona, and we actually were looking at property as a possibility of moving to United States. And Kevin, because I already had, you know, as a professional homeopath, I had that as an alternative qualification, and Kevin wanted to, you know, study naturopathy, which is a very good course. That's a very good training, very high standard of training in the United States. So it's always been a broad-based vision of just everything that supports health. But with the always with the sense of it being how can I say, there's kind of ways of doing things. If for example, something like yoga, the yoga that can be hot yoga, where you might as well go to a gym. You know, it isn't consciousness centered. You know, it's like it's a regime, and I've got to be able to do this, this, and this, and I've got 6 weeks, and I'm building up to that, you know, etc. Which has really come in with a number of types of yoga. Can't remember the name of the popular one in Glasgow. You know, that wouldn't be part, because it'd be a doing and a goal and a striding and all the rest of it, rather than going back to the ancient traditions of yoga, which was about consciousness and present, not a goal to strive from, but a centering place to be. So everything would have had that ethos. Yeah. So it may be with the new financial reset. Just be open to, infinite abundance and, funds to set up all sorts of things. There's no reason why not. Okay, anyone else got anything to share or say before we close? So a question that's just come to me, if you've got a suggestion, if we, it looked by the voting that going into breakout rooms and the opportunity to, get to know one another and chat and have a topic and, discuss it. It got a thumbs up anyway. So if we're to do it again next week, have you got any ideas for a subject?
What would you do if you didn't have to work?
Right.
What's your soul's calling?
Yeah, that's a nice idea. And it's really interesting. There's a book by Arthur C. Clarke. Arthur C. Clarke is a very sci-fi author, but very, very realistic. And everything that he writes, it's an incredible perception of the human way and the human mind and how humans work. And he wrote a book called Childhood's End. And Childhood's End is about aliens come and create spaceships over cities, and there is one great leader, and what these ETs do is they provide everything that you want. They create it that humans have everything they're asking for, and humans last 50 years and it's the end. It's like it's part of the human nature to have to solve problems and strive and it's like, oh, okay, here you are, you've got all your freedom and you've got everything. You get out of bed and you go, well, what shall I do? I'm bored. It's Childhood's End, Arthur C. Clarke. Give you everything you want, I just got, yeah. So to actually consider more carefully what creativity, if you didn't have to work, what would you do? It would be a good idea. Okay, so shall we finish there this evening? Thank you for sharing the evening with me again. Lovely to have you all, and have a lovely week and see you next Sunday. Thank you. Bye-bye.